Starfield is clearly a combat-filled game, and we have tons of rifles, pistols, and even melee weapons that have now been confirmed. So today I thought that we could go over every in-game weapon that has been confirmed that we can see, because I believe I have found some that you may have actually missed. Now this is going to be a fairly longer video than what I usually do here on the channel, so please do drop the video a like for me, consider subscribing if you're new around here and you're looking for a place to stay up to date on Starfield news, leaks, discussions, speculation, and plenty of other Bethesda focused content. But with that out of the way, sit back and relax and let's get straight to it. First things first, we have what appears to be a regular frag grenade. We can see this as our player is leaving his ship, and we later see it in pointless action here. Quickly moving on, we next see the Eon pistol. This version here is the semi-auto Eon. It appears to be one of the starting weapons, much like how the 10mm pistol from Fallout 4 is the starting sidearm of that game. This is actually the only weapon we see getting customized in the showcase, unfortunately, but here we can see it, that it has been fitted with now a new magazine, scope and muzzle, and if you zoom in a little here, we can see the words Combat Tech written on the side, which you'll see throughout this video is clearly the most popular weapons manufacturer in the game. Combat Tech is based in Jemison, as seen here. Next up we have the cutter, which isn't just used for mining iron or other materials. We actually see it being used in combat right here. I do believe that we will start Starfield with this weapon already equipped, and this looks to be a weapon we will always have on us, sort of a last resort if we ever run out of ammo. I also want to call it now that an only cutter run of Starfield will definitely be one of the more popular challenges in the game when it finally releases. Next up we have the Grendel, as seen to be used again very early on in the game. And it seems to be a lightweight PDW, again manufactured by Combat Tech, which you can see here, and we can clearly see the Grendel being used by the Bethesda developer with zero aim skill here, and we can also see United Colony guards carrying it throughout the showcase, so it's safe to say that the Grendel is probably a very common weapon in the game. Speaking of which, in this exact same scene, we can see the first melee weapon here that appears to just be a regular combat knife being used by the Crimson Fleet. This is clearly a favourite of the Crimson Fleet, as we also see them use it later on. Next up we have the Coachman shotgun, a double barrel again being used very early on here. The Coachman uses shotgun shells obviously, and clearly does a lot of damage. Fun fact, a mistake on Bethesda's part here, but if you pause right here, you can see that the bullets fly out of the Coachman double barrel rather than shells. We can also see our character walking on a strange planet here later on in the showcase, carrying the Coachman yet again. One of the only laser weapons we see in the Starfield showcase, the Equinox, again being used by the zero aim dev here, looks to be a high powered rifle, much like the laser rifle of Fallout 4. In fact, these weapons look almost shockingly similar when you compare the two, but unfortunately I could not find a decent image to do a comparison, so you'll just have to look that up for yourself. We do see this weapon later on in an upgraded form, now being automatic and fitted with a nice scope. However, the dev here still refuses to aim down sights for whatever reason. This weapon was speculated to be quite rare due to the seemingly unique name, but it is actually a weapon that we see the most of in this showcase, being used by almost everyone, including the Crimson Fleet and the United Colonies. Up next we have the Maelstrom, which appears to be the SMG, of course being used by Mr. No Aim himself. It is being used fairly early on here, again in the one small step mission. The Maelstrom has a somewhat make it yourself look, with all of the pipes and straps hanging off of the gun as you can see here. I would even go as far as to say that this weapon might be a prototype of some sort. The AR-99, this looks to me like a high powered automatic rifle, again being used in what I think is actually the opening of the game, but that is just speculation on my part. We even get a look at a modified version of this weapon later on in a clip that I will play here. Now at number 10, we do briefly see in this shot here an axe being used by one of your fellow miner friends, but unfortunately we never see it in action. In my favourite shot of the entire showcase, we can see a combat knife with the words United Colonies written on the side of it. We know that we can join the Crimson Fleet undercover for the United Colonies, and I'm willing to bet that that's what this poor guy did before getting caught. Unknown SMG. Now unfortunately we don't see much of this weapon besides this short clip here of the guy carrying it. It looks to me like an SMG, but this is unfortunately all we know about this weapon and all we see of it throughout the entire showcase, likely being used a lot by the Freestar Collective members since this guard here is carrying it. Unfortunately, we barely see this weapon, although zooming in, it looks to be called the PD-3F, or maybe the PD-3P. Either way, this weapon looks insane, clearly packing a lot of ammo, and I'm very excited to get my hands on this weapon. And at number 14, we have the unknown pistol. This strikes me as some kind of energy pistol because we clearly aren't shooting bullets here when we attack this ridiculously terrifying monster. It is likely that we find this pistol early on, as this monster is the monster of Crete, which is one of the first locations we can go to in the game. It appears, to me anyway, that this pistol is sort of knocking this monster back rather than actually damaging it, but besides that, we don't know much about this unknown pistol. And surprisingly, that is it. I honestly thought that this video was going to be a hell of a lot longer than it's turning out to be. That is all of the weapons that we see in the showcase, but we do know that there will be plenty more, including but not limited to sniper rifles, laser pistols is very likely, other melee weapons, the weapons on your ship, and probably some heavy miniguns and stuff like that too. Anyway, that is every weapon I could find in the showcase. I'm genuinely shocked that we got through it so quick. Let me know which weapon you're excited to get your hands on the most once this game finally releases. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop it a like for me. It really helps me out more than you can imagine. And of course, if you are looking for a place to stay up to date on Starfield news, leaks, discussions, speculation, and so much other Bethesda focused content, I've got you covered, so consider subscribing, it would mean a lot. But with that said, I thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next one.